What's going on, everybody? Got Perry here next to me. I'm Carlos here, obviously. Eric's not with us today because he's obviously got a billion other things that are probably more important than going to watch random movies that apparently aren't that good. Spoiler alert. So we're here to review Ready or Not. This is a film directed by, honestly, I don't know. And I don't really think it matters because this doesn't seem like a film that really had much passion or vision to it, in my opinion.
Not at all.
But it stars Samara Weaving. I'm actually not too familiar with her as an actress, so, you know, honestly, going into this film, I had very low expectations. I was really not excited at all to see this film. The only reason why I decided to go see it was because it's like the latest horror film everybody's talking about, and also I kind of also had a few requests from some people who follow me on Twitter saying that they wanted me to watch this film, so I was like, why not? And there's also really not much else out like that, so I figured, why not? Let me just go out and check it out. He works as a manager, so I get him for free, so why not? Let's see how this film turns out. And guys, I guess before I get really negative with it, let me just say that I think if you're just like a casual moviegoer, like if you're just a really casual moviegoer and you just want to see something that's just really surface level and fun and dumb, I think that you will enjoy it. But that's really it. Like, I think if you're a film lover and actually respect the art of filmmaking and actually like know how to analyze and perceive film and with a more trained eye, this film is not going to do anything for you. It really didn't do anything for me at all. There's only maybe like 2 or 3 moments in this film that I felt like, okay, like it's engaging, I guess. Like I felt somewhat engaged. It was somewhat immersive. But the vast majority of this film, I felt like I was just watching a super artificial fucking movie. Nothing felt genuine. Nothing felt like I was actually immersed into this world that I'm watching. Everything felt just so manufactured, and obviously whoever was behind this film was just looking to make some money, because this to me just seemed really passionless and really visionless, and it just didn't seem to have anything really, you know, enjoyable or original or creative or charismatic about it. It just lacked a lot of things that I really appreciate out of filmmaking. And I understand, like, you know, again, I had really low expectations going into this. Like, I knew that this was just supposed to be a fun, dumb horror movie, and it still let me down, because I don't even think it gives you a lot when it comes to that department either. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to say about it. Violence in this doesn't really even, I mean, it's there. It gives you some moments of some gore, but it's not there to really serve anything. It's just there like, oh, we have to put something that's fun in the movie, so let's make sure to give them something that's R-rated and gory, and that's really the only reason why it's there. But yeah, this wasn't a film for me, guys. Like I said, I think if you're a casual moviegoer just trying to, you know, you're really like surface level when it comes to movies, and you just want to, if you're watching this video and just want to know if you'll like it, sure, you might like it, but other than that, I'd say stay away from it. I didn't find it very good. Yeah, I have a lot more to say about it, but with that, I'll pass it off to Perry. Maybe he has some sentiments he wants to say that I haven't yet.
Everything you just said, I completely agree with. Like, I hated this film. And, like, I try to give every film I watch a fair chance. I'd be like, oh no, this is shit. I'm gonna go in wanting to hate this film and end up hating it. Like, I always try to enjoy the films I watch. But this film literally almost gave me nothing. This is a terrible film, and whoever made this is very cynical, because they thought, oh, if we just give them gore and violence, they'll watch it, they'll eat it up, the dumb bastards that watch this movie. And this really pisses me off, because violence in cinema, it's like, I love a lot of violent film, but at least let the violence have substance. This is just violence and shock value for the sake of violence and shock value.
I mean, yeah, it's like, you know, I don't mind like fun violence sometimes, because, you know, I mean, Tarantino has a lot of fun violence.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like some stuff like that, there's not much like substance behind it, but the thing is, the violence in this wasn't even really fun. There's maybe a few moments where I was like, okay, that was kind of cool to see, I guess, but a lot of the violence in this is just didn't work. It wasn't really that entertaining. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you don't care about anything that's happening. So why the fuck care about the violence if you don't care about anything that's happening?
Right. Yeah, I completely agree.
Like, yeah, no, go ahead.
And the violence in Tarantino's films, like the reason I enjoy the violence in Tarantino film is, in films that don't have that much substance or that much to say, is because they at least feel earned. You know, because at least their characters are well written. At least they build up to the violence and make you care when it finally comes around. This film doesn't do any of that. The characters in this film are awful. And the acting, for the most part, was almost all the actors in this film were just so hammy and unbelievable.
Yeah, very. That's another big complaint I have about this. This is a very like unbelievable movie.
Oh yeah.
And it's not because like the premise is so just far-fetched, even though it's like a little bit, but not really. Like I can buy the premise somewhat, but it's just the fact that these characters they just come off so cartoony, so like cardboard cutout characters, and there's nothing interesting or really engaging about any of them. There's nothing really likable about them either. Like even like, you know, like even with the villain characters, you expect to have like some sort of entertainment value, and the film tries to have these funny comic relief moments, and like 85 to 90% of those, like it didn't work for me. Like it just felt so out of place. Felt like it was trying way too hard to be this funny, edgy horror movie, and it just didn't work. It just really didn't work for me.
I kind of wish, like, instead of, like, with the... I hate the fact that, like, it feels like every film has to have comedy in it. And I understand there has to be a little bit of levity. But I kind of hope that they would have played this, like, straight face and been, like... And this could have been, like, a real... Oh, let's focus on building the tension, you know, before we just get to the violence. No, it's just all, you know, crappy humor that doesn't land from characters you do not care about and you honestly hate, with performances, like I said, that are just so hammy and unbelievable. This film actually had the balls to use a theme song from A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, I think it's Beethoven's 5th or Beethoven's 9th. I don't remember exactly.
Ninth Symphony, second movement.
Yeah, so it uses that song in this film in basically the opening scene, and it doesn't do shit with it. Like it's just there in the background to like think that it's creating some sort of, you know, edgy irony to it, but it's literally doing nothing. Like the film doesn't even try to edit it or try to chop it up in a way that's like even slightly like visionary or slightly creative. It's just there in the background. Like it's literally just there in the background as like they're getting married, and that's it. Like it's just so, again, like this film is trying to be that kind of cynical, edgy, kind of, you know, humorous movie, but it just doesn't work because it's just not creative and it's not very refreshing. And really when it comes to anything, when it comes to characters, when it comes to plot, like it just borrows from a lot of movies and tries to put together a dumbass movie. And again, and also there's no, if you were expecting some sort of, you know, subtlety, don't even think about it. The most really in your face spoon-fed film, no ambiguity. You know, the film kind of plays with that. Like it plays with this, oh, it may be this way, maybe not. It kind of plays with that for a while, but then the ending is just like, oh, well, here it is. Here's the answer to everything. So if you're expecting to like walk away like, oh, I wonder if this was the case, like don't even. This movie doesn't leave any kind of, you know, this is not a thought-provoking film in the slightest.
The so-called twist in this film are so predictable. You see him coming miles away, and all the so-called character arcs, you know exactly where they're going. There's nothing in this film that really surprised me or subverted my expectations.
Yeah.
And that may work for some people, but it doesn't work for me. It does not work for me. And I feel like if you call yourself a film lover, I don't see how anyone could appreciate Ready or Not if they're a hardcore film lover, because this film almost gave me nothing.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because, you know, when I went into this, I had, you know, I wasn't like I said, I really wasn't expecting much out of it. But the thing is, critics were really digging it. Film Twitter was really digging it. And, you know, I was like, okay, well, maybe this film will have something for people who, like, respect the art of filmmaking and appreciate it. And I'm walking out of it and I'm just like, I don't see it. I'm kind of baffled that, you know, a lot of people and a lot of critics who, you know, seem to at least are purported to have some sort of grip on understanding how to like watch film and actually appreciate, you know, what films are trying to do, actually walk out of this film really liking it. Like, that baffles me, because, you know, not saying that you can't just go and enjoy a dumb, fun movie. That's fine. There's other dumb, fun movies that I watch and I'm like, yeah, that was fun and I'm entertained. But this film is just, it doesn't even try. Like, it really doesn't even try to be creative on almost any front. And it also tries to have this, like, female empowerment thing in it. And, you know, that's fine. I really don't mind those kind of themes as long as they're, you know, conveyed in a more subtle, thought-provoking way that's more creative. But this film tries to have an incredibly surface-level female empowerment thing in this film, and it doesn't even really... It's like in your face about it, like for a few seconds, and it doesn't even try to flesh out on it, and it's just... I don't know. This film has a lot of bad things going for it, and the only really nice things I can say about it is, I guess the lead actress was serviceable enough for the film to be somewhat convincing of her character, but even then, like, her character writing's pretty bad. I mean, you don't even really... I mean, why? The film gives you pretty much no reason to even root for her the whole time. Well, I mean, honestly, why do you even care if she lives or dies the whole movie? You don't really care. Besides the fact that she's a human being, you don't want to see an innocent human being die. But other than that, it doesn't really give you much. It's just like, just there.
Yeah, to me, like, Adam Brody was my favorite character in the film. Like, he's not an actor I really enjoy. Like, I don't enjoy the movies I've seen him in, but I actually liked him in this film. But of course, with the shit writing, of course his character squandered, and of course his character arc is really predictable. And also, I want to say, just the fact they don't even hide the fact that they're ripping off other movies. They're very upfront about everything that they're referencing. It's just so obvious to see what they were inspired by, and they were just like, oh, let's just imitate that, and then we can throw something together and it'll be at least serviceable, or we can fake it and a lot of people will enjoy it. It's like, no, I'm seeing right through what you're doing. I feel like anybody who watches film or calls himself a film lover can see through all the fucking tricks that are thrown at you.
This is just not a very entertaining movie. Like even if I'm just trying to put away all of my, like, strict, you know, cinema standards, and I'm just trying to go in, like, brainless and trying to enjoy a movie, I'm telling you, like, I don't even really think it works, like, too much even on that.
I completely agree.
Like, and again, the only people that I think that will enjoy this movie are just really casual moviegoers, you know, kids who are maybe the age of, like, 14 to 17, maybe. I don't even think 18-year-olds would even like this. They might be too old to even really like this. I don't know. And it's rated R movie, but I know that this is a perfect movie for just, like, teenagers that are, like, again, 14 to 15, just to go in and be like, oh, I'm edgy, I'm cool, I'm watching a rated R movie, and they say fuck, and there's gore in it, and it's just, I don't know, this is just not a good film, in my opinion.
Even the casuals in the theater, and trust me, there were some fucking casuals.
By the way, we sat in front of probably one of the most rudest moviegoers I've ever seen. I mean, they were talking so loudly throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard them, like, somebody was doing something with their mouth that was really gross the whole time. Either they were sucking in their snot or doing something, but it was, like, so loud the whole time, and it was so gross and so, like, it's just like, I can't even believe how rude some people are. They just come in and I'm just like, you really think, like, it's appropriate to act like you're in the comfortability of your own home? Like, that is just baffling to me sometimes.
I would have actually cared more if this was actually a good movie, but
yeah,
like I was gonna say, even the casuals that were sitting behind us, even they didn't enjoy this movie. Yeah. I even heard people coming out of the theater, even they thought this movie sucked. Yeah. What does that say if the most, like,
the fucking target audience
right.
isn't even enjoying
exactly
it. That's why I'm really I don't understand the critical reception of this. I don't see anything much redeeming about this film to say, hey, I recommend this to somebody.
The premise of this film, let alone, is very flawed. I feel like it's trying to capitalize on that Purge crowd, because a lot of people enjoy the Purge movie, even though the premise of those movies are completely fucking stupid. And this is the same here, same way here. And the way the film tries to explain the premise and how all of this came about, it's so, like, laughably bad.
It's just lazy.
It's just so lazy.
I tuned out halfway through. I'm like, I don't even care, dude. Like, he was explaining like the origin of why they play the game and the folk behind it. I was like, dude, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, same here.
Because the way it's presented is just it's so uninteresting. You don't care about it. And yeah, I don't know. There's so much about this film that I just think was really lacking. And I know, like, I'm going hard on it and we're going harsh on it, but I'm telling you, like, we're just being completely honest. This is not, again, if we're just, even if we take the stick out of our asses and are just trying to enjoy a fun movie, it doesn't really deliver there. So I really don't know what else to say. I'm stunned that so many critics are apparently saying that this is like a passable movie and this is fun, because there was honestly really nothing about this that was very quality in terms of filmmaking, really. Besides the fact that they had money to have crisp production. That's really it.
That's the biggest compliment I can give this film, is at least it's competently made.
Yeah.
But all these critics are clearly getting paid off if they're giving this a positive review, because I don't even know what that was I just witnessed in there. It was almost like I was watching the death of cinema.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, guys. It really is bad. Like, at first I was like maybe halfway through I was like, okay, like, this isn't good, obviously, but, you know, maybe this isn't so awful. But by the end of it, you're like, no, like, this is really not good. This is really a bad movie, and I wouldn't blame anybody saying that this is a terrible piece of filmmaking, because, like, I don't necessarily think it's a completely extremely bottom of the barrel. Like, I have seen worse. Like, I still think maybe like Curse of La Llorona's worse.
Oh, definitely. This, I would actually way prefer this to Curse of La Llorona.
Yeah. You know, this gives you stuff, you know, here and there to make it to where it's not so incredibly boring the whole time. But, you know, it's still not a very good movie. This is definitely not a good movie. I don't recommend this to anybody who, you know, actually knows how to appreciate the art of filmmaking. And I don't even really recommend it to anybody who is just trying to go and have a dumb fun time, because I honestly don't think it even will give you that. The only thing I can say, again, is just, if you're a casual moviegoer and you're just watching this video, just like on the internet, knowing whether or not you might like it, you might like it. That's all I can say to a casual, surface level person who just watches movies on the weekend sometimes with their friends. That's all I can say. Yeah, you might like it, but anybody else who takes film seriously, I say skip it. It's not good. It's not good at all. It's very lazy, very manufactured, and it's really disappointing. And I was really, halfway through, I was like, fuck, I really want this movie to be over by now.
Yeah, definitely. I feel the same way.
So I guess with that being said, I'll go and give my rating. Shit, I don't even know. It's gonna be low down there. I guess I'll give it a 3 out of 10. 3 points, I guess, for competent acting from the lead actress. 1 point for giving me some blood and gore here and there, even though it's just excessive and it didn't even really need to be there. I don't say excessive, but just shoehorned and just there for just. It was just there in a way that seemed like it was not. It's just there to try to please people and not there to actually accompany the quality of the film. Yeah, and I guess another point for what, I don't even know. A free bonus point out of my ass, I guess. 3 out of 10.
Yeah, it'd take a lot to get down there to a 2 out of 10. Trust me, I've seen a couple of 2 out of 10s this year, even lower than that.
La Llorona, I gave a 0.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, this is definitely a lot better than La Llorona, not that that's saying much.
But yeah, I guess that's what we got to say about it. Sorry for being so harsh on this film, guys. I mean, I understand that a lot of people, you know, may like this film. Apparently critics seem to like it somewhat. But, you know, I'm just telling you, we're telling you how we honestly feel about it. You know, I didn't go into this wanting to hate it, actually. I actually went into this wanting to actually like it, because I had pretty low expectations out of it, and I was going in just wanting to watch a fun horror movie, and it still didn't give me that. So, yeah. And I'm also sorry for, you know, maybe I'm not saying things clearly. It's just scattered everywhere, and terms of our thoughts on the review and stuff. It's late, you know. I'm tired of shit. It's like the 1 a.m. right now, so.
Yeah. Not to mention, it's like there's so many awful things about this film. It's like there's going to be something we miss or something we're not very clear on, because this film is legitimately that atrocious.
Yeah, and this is like an authentic reaction. We have pretty much no time to gather our thoughts, so that we're literally just giving you what our brain's thinking, like on the fly. So
right.
If these reviews sometimes come off like, oh, these guys aren't touching on everything, or they're not being insightful, I'm sorry. I do get it, but this is like just a quick reaction kind of thing, and sometimes it's late. Like, I'm tired of shit right now, but all I know is that I know how to perceive shit movies. Doesn't matter what time it is. This movie was not good. I'm telling you. I would definitely recommend to stay away from it. You know, if you want to ever be ballsy and try to watch it, I recommend only doing that if it's like free of charge on the comfortability of your own time and home. That's it. So, yeah, I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, it's just funny because it's a lot of casuals. Like, if you don't like a movie, they're like, oh, you're just pretentious douchebag, you know, you hate everything. It's like, no, I don't hate everything. I like good cinema. I don't like whatever I just watched.
I only prefer patrician cinema.
Yeah, definitely. I want the creme de la creme.
The creme de la creme. I mean, and I know there's people that are always going to think that we're pretentious or whatever, and we just like to shit on casuals or whatever, but that's really, I mean, it's not even really true. I mean, I understand that some people, you know, some people isn't their forte. They're not going to know more than somebody else when it comes to filmmaking. Some people just want to go have a good time at the movies and just see, hey, well, I like this if I invite my friend or whatever, and I totally get that. And that's why I'm saying, if you are just that person and you just want to know if, like, you can invite your date to this and y'all have a good time and y'all aren't really huge into movies, sure, this is that kind of movie. Like, this is just for those kind of people. And if you're just watching this video for that, go ahead. Everybody else, stay away from it. It's not a good film.
I still haven't decided, but I may even hate this more than Scary Stories.
Yeah.
And I really hated Scary Stories.
And we're rambling a lot about it, and it's just because we hate it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's just sometimes just a film will bother you so much that you just want to keep talking about it, because it's just you feel like you haven't got it out of your system, so you're just like, please, I need to keep venting about this movie. And it was free of charge for me because, again, he works at a theater. I got in, but I still feel upset because I didn't waste money, but I did waste a little bit of time, and I have work tomorrow morning and it's late, so now I have to fuck with this.
I'm just glad Eric didn't come and watch this, because he would have hated this. Good decision making on your part, Eric. I think that was a good choice, not coming tonight. Not a very good film, guys. Sorry, just didn't enjoy it. But I guess that's all we got to say, Perry. I think we're done talking shit about this film. If you really liked what we had to say about Ready or Not, hopefully, please give this video a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. If you did not agree with what we had to say, that's totally cool. Please let us know in the comment section how you feel. I would love to have a friendly, constructive film debate. I always love having those. And if you really enjoyed this video, please share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.